Cybersecurity company ECSC Group admitted to AIM in December. It already has 10% of the FTSE 100 index as clients and has told investors it wants to grow the staff profile 4 times in the next 2 years to 200. Clearly, to do this, it has to have big targets to grow the business. Well, to talk us through the roadmap is ECSC Chief Executive Ian Mann. Ian, welcome.
Morning.
I see you've got 10% of the clients of the FTSE 100 within your portfolio, but in fact, this is not since IPO, of course. You go back to, what, 2000, don't you? Explain a bit more about the business and the genesis of it.
Yeah, so we've been around quite a long time, a good track record of organic growth and profitability. And the AIM flotation really enables us to scale the business to meet the demand that's there in the market. So there's a lot of demand for cybersecurity. People are seeing breaches, and there's new legislation on the roadmap for the UK which will see big increases in fines for breaches. So our clients either take us as a consultancy, advice and guidance and helping them improve security, and they also outsource security to us where we manage security on their behalf, and we're seeing growth across all those areas.
What's your background?
So I originally was a teacher and ended up in consultancy and training, and actually ran a Cisco networking academy. So I was training people who were out there managing networks. And I also used to work for GCHQ, and I saw the opportunity that security was going to be the next thing really, and particularly around the fact that the people I was training in managing networks struggled with the security aspects of networking.
And you've just released I think a 15-month trading update, haven't you, ahead of your full earnings in a month or so's time. Explain a bit more about what's going on in the business itself, because as I said at the top, you've got clients that represent 10% of the FTSE. I think you've got now £5 million on the balance sheet. You raised 5.9 million, I believe, at the IPO. In terms of the business itself, how are you structured? What's it looking like in terms of the balance sheet? So
yes, we've had a strong year despite working on the IPO. So our 15-month trading period represents like for like approximately 35% organic growth. So that's a really good set of results going into the IPO. And the IPO funds are used for expansion to meet the current demand. We've just enabled a new sales academy, taken a lot of new salespeople on. We're also opening up new facilities. So we have a new facility this year opening in Australia, and that's to give us 24/7 coverage for managed services. So we've got people able to respond to incidents 24/7, 365 days of the year. We're also opening a new incident response centre in London to enable us to get to incidents quicker and install equipment and deal with serious incidents in a more timely manner. The new legislation that's due in 2018 means that you have to report breaches within 72 hours. So the requirement to get on site quicker and actually understand the breach and contain a breach is really important now.
What about the growth side itself? So I said you want to expand your staff 4 times, I believe, in the next couple, or certainly by the end of 2018. And what are your targets in terms of revenue to back this up and to support that level of increase?
Yeah, the latest research note on us says that our revenue will grow substantially. We'll be seeing a revenue growth in proportion to that increase in staff numbers, and we expect to be profitable again in 2018 when we've invested for growth this year.
And that'll be the UK and Australia?
We won't be selling directly in Australia. The UK is our marketplace. Although we've worked in 25 different countries, it tends to be we win a client in the UK, but often they're multinational clients and they'll send us abroad. The Australian operation is very much to give us follow the sun, so that if you ring up with an incident at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night, then there's somebody there watching your systems and can respond quicker.
Yeah. What about the client spread? Because one of the concerns, especially about small companies, is when you've got clients, you get 1 or 2 clients that dominate the revenue stream. Is there a risk to exposure in this regard for investors?
Well, we're quite fortunate that we don't have a single client more than about 5% of our revenues. So we spread across lots of different sectors. But also when we do have a large client, it tends to be an outsourcing arrangement, and they're on contracts of up to 3 years. So we've got a good contract length involved there and no dependency on any one client.
And I believe as well that you've got your own your proprietary software that you use, is that right?
Yeah, our own security devices. So people that outsource security to us, the devices we install on our network, we've got the intellectual property around those. So we've been developing our own technology since 2000.
And this is hardware and software, or is this just software packages?
So these are security appliances. So, for example, a firewall that you might install to protect your network, or systems such as intrusion detection systems that give you an early warning if somebody's got into your network. And these are devices that we install on people's networks. And then we monitor those from our security operations centre. So we have people with lots of screens and fancy maps of the world and things like that, and can see attacks happening and can alert clients when they've got a security problem.
Yeah. How do you govern your own security, if you like? I mean, how does that work? I mean, how secure is your business compared to others that want to buy into your products?
Well, that's very important for us in terms of our security. So we have a lot of restrictions on our security. So, for example, if you visit our security operations centre, you're not able to bring in devices. So your own mobile phone, you wouldn't be allowed to bring that in. You wouldn't be allowed to bring your own computer in. And that applies to staff as well. So whereas you might have at a desk in the normal operation people with personal devices, you wouldn't be allowed those in our operation. And everything's very tightly controlled and monitored. So we have to be very careful with our own security, and that involves all the products that we use as well to secure our operation.
Yeah, clearly now as a listed company you're under a completely different set of rules in terms of disclosure and so forth. What should investors now watch out for in terms of some of the news milestones, if you like? You're talking here about quadrupling the staff numbers and also likewise the business size. What do you expect in terms of news flow? Or should we expect more clients or an expansion of existing clients' usage of your products?
Yeah, I think you can expect some nice client wins, although we typically don't disclose too much about what we do for clients. You should also expect some confirmation of staff numbers, particularly training of new people like the salespeople, new facilities being opened, and the growth coming through. And then next year when we get back into our normal profitability as well. So we should expect a nice steady flow of news. Okay,
well, we look forward to hearing more about that. But Ian, in the meantime, thanks for joining us. That's Ian Mann. He's the Chief Executive of newly listed ECSC, a cybersecurity company.